What's up, guys? Today we're going to be having a look at some other people's throws. We're going to be seeing what some people have sent to me on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, by the way, at the Darts Referee, link it in the description below. They sent me some clips of them throwing, and we're going to have a look. And we'll see if I can give any like kind of constructive criticism about their throw. So anyway, let's have a look. Before we get into it, by the way, on the screen right now, you'll see that more than half of you guys sat there right now watching this video are not subscribed. So please consider subscribing because we're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. We're pretty close to it as well, so that'd be pretty cool if you can help me get to 15k subs. But let's get into this video anyway. Let's find out what other people throw like, and I'll try my best to give some suggestions on what you can do to improve. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so I tweeted the other day. Does anyone want their throw analysed? Reply with a video of you throwing darts, and I'll make a video on my channel of me reacting to your throws. 35 likes. Nice. Cheers, guys. Okay, but if we start off and have a look, this is Jack Doldry. Let's have a look at your throw, bro. We'll watch it through one time, and let's see how you're throwing. I'm probably going to get copyrighted for this clip brilliantly. Okay, let's have a look. Let's analyse it step by step. So the first thing I notice is that when he brings his dart back, he brings it back to there. So he's bringing his dart back literally to his throat. That's quite a big extension of the arm. When you get a little bit older, that probably will not be very good for you, especially if you like bulk up a little bit. That would be really hard to do. So I would try and get it back to sort of here instead of back there. Get it sort of back to here in your sort of eye line area. What else does he do with his throw? There's a little bit of wobble going on with his whole body. You can kind of see at this point he's quite upright, and at that point he's leaning forward a little bit more. So there's definitely a lot of movement in the body there. Try and control that a little bit, but other than that, you know, you're still young. You're still getting there. Yeah, I would just try and control the body. Try and bring the drawback of your arm a little bit less. But who else has retweeted? Who else has gone to this? Right, let's have a look. This is Finch hair. Let's watch this guy's throw. Play. Okay, Finch. Yeah, his throw's not bad. There's one thing I would say about his throw, which I reckon, if I kind of work out what position he's throwing at, I would say that I reckon, Finch, you throw a lot of fives. I reckon you throw more fives than you do ones. The reason I think that is because your hand is very much twisted. I feel like I should get a dart. One second, let me go grab a dart. Okay, this is my dart. When he throws, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, let me do it a little bit slower, but when he brings his arm back, his hand is kind of twisted, and it is twisted to allow him to bring the dart past his face, but it's just a little bit of a twist on his hand. So if he's throwing, he's right-handed, so he's bringing it back like this, and he's kind of, that's what I do. I mean, I can't say that I can't like slate you for it, because I do it as well, but I throw a lot of fives, and the reason for that is because I have the same problem as you, or you have the same problem as me. So when you bring your dart back, it's coming back, and it's turning in your hand there, and then the dart's facing the wrong way. So there's a lot of that going on. So I'd definitely say try and keep your hand a little bit straighter. But other than that, there's not a lot of movement. There's a little bit of a forward rock there, just as you're about to throw. Tiniest little bit of a forward rock. But other than that, your throw's pretty solid. You come straight through your eye line as well, which is good. Something that I don't do because my throwing eye doesn't even work. I'm basically blind at it, so I can't really rely on that. But yeah, I think your throw's quite good. Who is next? What have we got? Darts in Stoke. Let's have a look at your throw, bro. I can't really see from the front angle, but from the side, it looks really solid, actually. From the side, really solid throw. So you bring your arm up, the elbow stays. So this is something that I used to do. I used to set my first dart, throw it, and then everyone after that was a repeat of the first dart. So I can't hate on that. I think that's not a bad way of throwing. You don't see it very often in professionals, I find, but it's something that I used to do. But you see, he lifts his arm up. As soon as his elbow hits his position, the elbow doesn't move until there, where he's about to throw. So I think he's got a nice throw. I definitely enjoy throwing like that. I'd prefer to throw like that than the way I throw. I can't really say a lot about your throw. I can't really see too much about it, but I think it's a pretty decent throw. Joe Reed, let's have a look at Joe's throw. I think Joe Reed's actually like quite a good dart player as well. So I might not have much to say on this throw, to be honest. Yeah, I don't hate his throw at all. I think his throw's quite nice. He's got the little strange thing where he brings his dart up his fingers are in a strange position, but then that's where he fixes his fingers there. That there is like a little fix. So the first part of the throw is completely irrelevant, but if that's part of the way you throw, then I can't hate it. He brings his dart straight back, so like he's literally, when he's throwing, his point is literally at where the dart's going to go. So I like his throw. I think he's got quite a nice little throw. The thing at the start is a little bit odd, but if that works for you, you'll notice. I've just noticed this. He brings his arm back, and then at this point he goes into Phil Taylor throw position. Phil Taylor throws his darts exactly like this. Same wrist position, same fingers positions from what I can see. The elbows up. You can maybe lift it a tiny bit more, but other than that, like I think that's a really good throw. I don't really have much to say on that. There's a little bit of a jerk. Like you can see his backhand tense up as he throws there. Like his backhand's tensing up a bit, which I feel like in time or eventually, if you overplayed, that probably turn into a bit of a snatch. So I'd try and keep your back arm a little bit relaxed. But other than that, your throw's really nice. I like it. Anyway, next up, Peter Lee. So look at what Peter Lee's throwing right now. Someone doing a bit of strimming in the garden while we're throwing, but. Okay, straight away. One thing I noticed that he does is he see his head position here, right? And then he lifts his dart up, and then he holds his dart somewhere, and then his head moves to his dart there. You see that? That little head movement there. That's probably something that I wouldn't suggest doing. I would suggest bringing your arm to your head instead of bringing your head to your arm. There's a little bit of a wobble in his elbow when he does that as well. You can kind of see it. And then when he releases, you pull your elbow down right here, pulls down a bit, which would make me think that you might have a bit of a problem with throwing low. But other than that, like your throw is quite nice. But I would definitely say it looks like you maybe throw low and I can't even work out. You're facing towards me, left, low and left. You probably hit a lot of small fives, I would say. Let me know if that is correct, but. Yeah, your throw's quite nice. I would just try and sort out the head movement a little bit, and try and release a bit more firmer, release a bit more towards where you're throwing. But other than that, that's all I can say on your throw, really. Right, Sandy. Next, have a look at Sandy's throw. Someone who's in my stream quite a lot. This person. Okay, so Sandy's throw. Straight away. You bring your arm up, and I'll try and do it in slow motion. There's a bit of a instead of bringing it straight up, you're kind of like bringing it around and up a little bit. I'll try and bring it straight up a little bit, bring it up a little bit straighter. Then you get to this point, and then you release, and then your release is like good. Like, that's a good release point, but then your wrist flicks weird there, which is good. That's going to cause snatches at some point. So I definitely try and get rid of that. A way you can try and get rid of that is to do what Phil Taylor does, and that's when you throw, make sure that your fingers are like pointing the direction in which you're going the whole way down your arm. So that's what I would suggest to improve your throw a little bit. So see if there's anything else in your throw. I like the little finger. I like the pinky. But other than that, no. I think the only thing you need to work on at the moment, because you are quite young as well, would be just to try and get that release a little bit better. Your release is really prominent, like you really release it, but then it's at the end where your hand twists, which is going to cause snatches and weird throws. But yeah, anyway, Gary Morgan. So look at what Gary's throwing right now. We've got a lefty here. I believe we might have a bit of a lefty. Okay, right, rewind. Straight away, straight away, his head is in a good position there, and then he just tilts it up there, you see that? He tilts his head up a little bit, which, I mean, if it works for you, then that's fine, but that's just, I think that sort of head movement is going to cause inconsistencies in your throw. And then when he throws as well, there's quite a lot of chest movement. Quite a lot of body movement, a bit of a jerk as well. But he brings his darts up nice though. His darts come straight to his eye. His dart goes through his eyesight, and his release is nice as well. Sandy, if you're watching, I know he does the same sort of twist sort of thing that you did, but he does it he does it with the pointing fingers. Sandy, if you're still watching the video and you haven't clicked off yet, do something more like that. But other than that, yeah, I would just say, see, the thing is, like, the head movement, it goes there, and then it's back to normal again on Dart 2. So I don't know if maybe Dart 1, you have a problem with Dart 1. If the first dart tends to be your worst dart, I'd say it's to do with the head movement at the beginning of the throw, because it doesn't happen after that. But other than that, yeah, it's a nice throw. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Josh Alpin. I don't know how many I'm going to have to go through. I might have to cut it short and do 2 parts of this, to be honest, as well. So if you have posted and you want me to do this, I will probably turn this into 2 parts. I'll probably upload the next part next week. I think we'll do 2 more. How many more have we got? Oh no, okay, we'll do Josh. We'll do Josh, and then if you've posted, then I will do your throw next week's video as well, because we might as well milk this for 2 videos, mightn't we? Right, so Josh, let's have a look at right. Right. Let's have a look at your throw, Josh. Right. Similar sort of thing to what Gary was doing as well, with the kind of the unnecessary movement just before you throw, if that makes sense. Let's go through it in slow motion. So he brings his darts up. See his body position there. As he brings his darts up, he's just leaning back a little bit. So if I kind of memorize where his head is there, let's see if he throws from there as well. Yeah, he does throw from the same place. Maybe the lean back at the start doesn't really matter. What else does he do in his throw? He brings his darts up. His very high elbow. His elbow is very high, which is normally is quite a good thing. Let's see what happens with his elbow though. His elbow stays where it is, and then he throws, and his body kind of jerks forward a little bit. So that will be something to try and get rid of, that little movement there. Looks like you're probably coming up on the balls of your toes on your throwing foot. That's what I would think that is, because I've done that before. I do see a lot of people do that as well. But yeah, other than that, his release is really, I think his release is good, and then at about there it just gets a little bit weaker towards the end. Like the end of the release is quite weak. I'd be a bit more prominent with the release. Maybe try and throw the tiniest bit harder potentially. But I think it's pretty good. And then there we go again. Lean forward into the dart, throw the dart, and lean back when you throw it. It's just little things like that. If you can get rid of that, you might see a big improvement in your game. But anyway, guys, I want to leave it there. We are going to do a part 2, because I had loads of people wanting me to do this. So we'll do a part 2 to this as well. I'll probably upload it like next week at some point. So if you've replied to this and you want me to have a look at your throw, then it will happen. If you haven't replied to this, but you want me to look at your throw, then find the tweet. I'll put the link in the description for that tweet as well, so you guys can go and have a look at it and reply to your own ones. And this might become a regular thing. I might do this once a week where I look at people's throws. If you want me to do that, then let me know. Anyway, guys, the comment section below what you thought. If there are any throws on this, just let them know, write their name, and then give your suggestions, because I'm sure the people in this video will like to go through the comments and see what other people say. For the sake of the video, I'm trying to go through it quite quickly. I'm not trying to spend 10 minutes on each throw, just like 30 seconds to a minute on each throw. So any suggestions that you want to provide for these people as well, then go for it, because, you know, everyone's a dart expert in heart. So anyway. Yes. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like on it if you did. Subscribe with this lovely big subscribe button here in the middle. Have a look at my other videos as well. Got some other cool videos. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. 56%, guys. Get subscribed. That'd be awesome if you did. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.